What is the most OP build for Raphael in Fire Emblem Three Hopes? Raphael is really strong for a character that's missing a lot of major damaging abilities. This makes it so there are only so many viable builds for him. I'm sure you guessed what class we're using based on the name of the build in the thumbnail. We're going War Master. This is great because I love the War Master class, despite rarely having an opportunity to build one. I am very excited to present Fists of Fury Raphael. For our weapon, we're running the Vajramushti. I know this isn't his relic, but he has the potential to use it, unlike Balthus. Eye for an eye will increase our damage as our health goes down, so keep that in mind while you play. The accessory is going to be the Snow Dragon sign. I thought about using something else to get the reduced HP for using a relic when you're not supposed to, but I decided Eviscerate is too strong to ignore. So make sure you're using the right crest or you will not have access to that combat art. Our battalion of choice for today is going to be Resist Axes, but as usual, use whatever you like. For our combat arts, we're using the already mentioned Eviscerate, which is a really strong hitting combat art. It also does bonus damage no matter what enemy you target with it. I won't say that this combat art is mandatory, but it's highly encouraged. While Mighty Blow is our second combat art, which is very similar to Eviscerate animation-wise. They both are effectively a strong one-punch attack. If Raphael has access to a few more strong abilities, I would have named him One Punch Man. Now on to uniques. Pure Brawn has a charge gauge that powers up your attacks for a set period of time. This charge can go all the way to 4, and you charge it by holding your normal attacks and your strong attacks at the right time in a sequence. You have to really spam the charge if you want to increase the charge power on this ability. It is worth it though. Goodie Basket greatly increases damage done to foes for a period of time after collecting a recovery item. On higher difficulties, this will activate far less frequently. But hey, it's free damage once in a while. I can't really complain. Unbending Spirit reduces the damage we receive when ordered to guard, while Shatter causes strong attacks to break the enemy guard, which is a really helpful feature of this build. And finally, Tome Buster boosts our damage against tome-wielding enemies by 95%. Now on to our abilities. Don't forget to watch the video to the end if you want to see where I got each one. Brawling Prowess increases our damage by 30% while wielding gauntlets. Backbone reduces the chance of getting knocked back by attacks, which is pretty important if you're looking to use Pure Brawn often. Life Taker is the only thing keeping you from using all your potions. Sure, your damage goes up as your HP goes down, but there are limits to this. You don't want to be at 1 HP the entire time. Boost Critical boosts our critical hit chance. Forethought increases both the Warrior and Awakening gauge fill rates until one of them is completely filled. Desperation is new. I have never used this ability in a build. When your HP is at 50% or below, your strong attacks will break an enemy guard. This really helps us blast our way through our opponents. Stalwart Stance makes it so swords, lances, axes, and gauntlets cannot knock you back mid-attack. If Raphael had Serene Stance as well, I would replace it with Backbone. But since he doesn't, we need Backbone to prevent knockback against tomes and bows. Impossible Feat is what reduces our HP so quickly. As you level up, this effect is far less severe. What this ability does is if your HP is above 25%, your damage is greatly increased. But when you attack, you sustain damage. This effect plays well off of Vajramushti. We will slowly lose our HP till we are below 25%. But if we get to 25%, our weapon effect makes us even stronger. Absorb Strength gives us a boost to our strength with each defeated enemy commander. What's even better is the effect lasts for the entire battle. And Death Blow extends the amount of time the stun gauge stays active. For this build, we need as much HP, strength, dex, and speed as possible. HP is required to reduce the burden of Impossible Feat, while also extending the amount of time we can go without using a healing potion. Strength is where all of our damage comes from. Dex increases our critical hit chance and our critical rushes, which is important since we shatter stun gauges very easily with this build. And finally, speed to reduce the cooldown on our strong combat arts. It may look like a lot, but the War Master actually boosts every single one of those stats, by a decent amount too. So level 120 times as a War Master and you're good to go. The only stat worth maxing with stat items is if you fall short in strength. Now for how the build works. You want to activate Pure Brawn as often as you can to increase your damage. When you have a nice charge going, activate your combat arts to crush opponents. Sure, it takes a little more effort to do the proper damage with this build, but it's as good as it's gonna get for good old Raphael here. Save your warrior specials and awakenings for more difficult bosses and commanders. More specifically, the heavy armored unit variety, since this is our weakness as a physical attacker. Now, where did I get each ability from? Brawling Prowess is from Fighter, Grappler, and War Master. Backbone from Soldier, Life Taker from Dark Mage, Boost Critical from Grappler, Forethought from Trickster, Desperation from Cavalier, Stalwart Stance from Great Knight, Impossible Feat and Absorb Strength are both from Dark Bishop, Deathblow from Brigand, Eviscerate from Vajra Mushti, and Mighty Blow from Grappler. I hope you liked today's video, and if you did, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe for more.